Hi, guys. Someone may or may not have pushed the wrong button. If you guys want to put your guesses in on who it was, you can put it in the chat. I'll let you guys. So there's four of us, and you guys can put in the chat who you think the culprit is.
Yeah, we got to figure out what
Big
Oh
house.
no.
Oh. Because
again.
while the whites are taught to be the wolves and have make their heaven on earth, people of color are taught your heaven, you suffer here to store up riches in heaven. Which always sound like a pack of bullshit to me, even as a young person.
But isn't
Sound like somebody selling something.
When you read this, and I am a guy who is like, I have empathy for people. I like to think that people are mostly good. I like to think that
Dutch tinted glasses.
Yeah. But like when you talk to someone who says, but they were good slave owners. But we did good things.
But there's some good cops. There's good cops that won't kill you. They just,
I'm not even sure that that's a good comparison, because like that but the point, like, you almost can understand why they have this initial, at least, resistance to the ideas, because they're literally taught this in schools. And this is why it's so dangerous, because they're trying to take over our school boards right now, they being Republicans. Like, think about it. They've already bought all the rest of the politicians. They've already bought the Senate. They've bought the court. They've bought the state legislators. They've bought the state houses. They bought the U.S. House. They said, you know what? What else can we possibly buy? Oh, the school boards are open. Let's go buy those. I was watching the other day, I forget what news network, somebody had mentioned that there's one school board where they had put this particular organization, I think it was the 1776 Foundation, had invested. In fact, I'll do the dig on them next week. They invested like $300 something thousand into a school board race, where the next biggest funded person had like 1,200. And what are those people going to want you to teach?
Hey,
they're going to want you to read from this.
They're going to want you to take every book that might make their children feel bad out of the library. You can't teach the true stuff that we're digging on, stuff like that.
But is it? Am I naive? Is it like? Maybe I'm just naive. Maybe I'm giving too much benefit for the doubt, because like when I meet someone,
you are Dutch. You are.
Yeah, but this is what I was taught in school. So how? Like, I can almost understand the initial resistance. I don't understand the later resistance. The later resistance after you show someone facts, like, that's different. But the initial resistance,
no, it's not,
I almost understand.
It's not different. You show somebody facts, and here's the thing: people feel like if they acknowledge the facts that you're putting in front of them, that somehow that makes them bad. Instead of saying, these are bad things, what can I do to ensure that these bad things don't happen in the future? They become defensive. There's a cognitive dissonance in their brain. Oh my God. And there's this thought process that they are now bad.
When your personal identity is attached to your country's history for some reason, which is what is
some reason about it though.
That's the indoctrination.
Yes,
so if anything happens to your country, you should take it personally, and they take it like you are denying them their last name. That's why these idiots over here are fighting for Confederate statues. They think that's actually part of them. They know it to be true, and you can't tell them otherwise.
Love my rodent. Thanks for joining the chat. You seem to be new here. What should they teach in history? I'm 31 years old and I learned a lot about American history and the atrocities of slavery when I was young. What are some ways we could heal racial tension and issues in America? You want to take that one, Haas, from our new person? I don't know if you're male or female, so I don't know.
Honesty.
Unless that's not tons of mice, is it? I love my rodent.
No, tons is
Okay.
tons. Honesty. You know, maybe learn from the German model. What did they do? You better not fly a swastika flag in Germany. You know,
Try it.
try it and see what happens.
Just try it. See,
Yeah.
you'll get to learn the great sense of humor.
Those
Germans have.
statues, the statues and quote unquote memorabilia, it's all in a museum. It's not out in public to be revered. It is a cautionary tale. This is what we don't do. As a country, love my rodent, we have to acknowledge and not whitewash, not dilute, not opaque, not minimize, not explain away, not rationalize the pimples on the buttocks of this country. This country was built on the backs and blood of people of color. Blacks, indigenous people, Chinese, and even now, to a large extent, our brown brothers to the south, our brothers and sisters to the south, the Mexicans. Because guess what? Really, really, really take all of the illegal immigrants out of this country who are picking our produce.
Oh, we'll starve to
and
death.
see what happens. You
Within
know,
a month.
Yeah.
You think
And
about go to the grocery store after all of the illegal immigrants that are working the fields of this country are kicked out, like a lot of people say they want to happen.
$35 for a watermelon, $25 for an apple, you know.
So
$18 for an ear of corn.
We got to be honest, and we have to literally dismantle the systems of this country that marginalize and disenfranchise. You know, and we have to stop having a whole faction of 70-something million people that are happy to placate the history of and cover their eyes and ears to the history of this country, and who would rather, like as Martin Luther King said, they would like peace with no real justice rather than justice and equity with some turmoil in between. We have to go through that. You know, when we talk about stretching, we talk about goal setting and growth. All growth, meaningful growth, no matter what phase of life it is, requires discomfort. And we are damn set against going through the discomfort it would take to heal the racial tensions, because it is much too uncomfortable for many people in this country. And for the people in power, that would mean acquiescence of some of that power. And that's not going to happen.
Yeah. You're on mute, Mikey. Professional, you. That Yeti's on mute.
That was actually my Stream Deck. It's the new one with the 32 buttons. And I missed that one. One thing I think that they should teach in history class is they need to move the date up. Like they always cut it off at Martin Luther King and that's the semester. Goodbye, everybody. Right. See you next year, where you'll go into world history. Right. And then you never really come back. So like everyone's kind of like, I don't know, at least for me, at least in the high school level, like they don't really get into the 80s. You don't really learn the Cuban Missile Crisis. You don't learn really like the AIDS crisis.
Well, you learn the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Here's the big thing, Mikey, is
I'm telling you what I learned. So that was in the 60s.
That was in the 60s.
One of the big things they don't talk about is one of the big things that is not talked about is the reason Martin Luther King was killed, because he didn't stop. Remember, he was going to phase 2 to the poor people's campaign. And when he started talking about economic empowerment and economic equity,
Yeah, now you got to go.
now you got to go. You can vote, motherfucker, but you can't have financial
We ain't said all
equal
that.
ground.
We ain't
That-
saying
that
all
was-
that.
That was part of the reason why the Black Panthers were so hated on. And like you only saw footage back in those days of the negatives. Like you only read about the negative stuff in the newspapers. Like Fred Hampton was literally building a coalition of whites, Latinos,
Yep.
you know, and he started focusing on economics. Had to go middle of the night, right? And like but Mikey's exactly right as usual. You know, they kind of have this cutoff point where, well, it's not history anymore. Like what's 1,000 years from now? Well, not even 1,000, 100 years from now, this period is going to be much discussed. You know, and I got news for people on the right.
Ain't nobody
You're-
gonna be here to watch this shit in 100
you're
years. It's gonna be a bunch of skeletons, man. We
Well,
ain't last another 100.
they would. I honestly feel like they would almost rather have that than be cast in a negative light by the history books. You know, because like if you look at
Blade
like
Runner.
look at the history of Europe before World War II, you had a lot of history of positive and negative integration. You had, you know, the economics played a huge role in the rise of dictators. You know, and they all followed the same playbook. And you know, a lot of those dictators were on the left and a lot of them were on the right. Like in Russia, they were obviously on the left, and in Germany, clearly on the right. And in Italy, probably even more on the right. But Mussolini, probably the clearest fascist of all time. I mean, he even said, "I am one." But like, you know, you had stuff in China and stuff like that's been negative as well. So like, it doesn't have to be a right or left thing, but it's become sort of that recently, because when you bring stuff like this up to folks on the right and you say, look, the things that you guys are doing were done before, here's when they happened, they say, no, the Nazi party said socialist in it, that was you, when we know full well that Hitler eradicated all political parties in Germany and basically outlawed them when Hitler took charge in World War II. So he was like, he kind of got power legally because they thought he'd be easy to control. Most people know this. And one of the first things that he did is he called a new election because he said the last election was illegitimate. Where have we seen this before? Right. And then after that, he dismantled all the unions. Gosh, who's talking about that right now? Then after that, they they made abortion illegal. Although they didn't make abortion illegal in the Jewish community, they actually kind of forced people to have abortions in that community. But it was super accessible to them. Then they abolished all the political parties. You know, which you're not really seeing a movement for that here per se, at least not yet. But he, you know, that was like the progression, and we see a lot of similarities there when it comes to that stuff. And that's not to say that every single person on the right is like Hitler. I'm not saying that. But when you fail to say,
a lot of
yeah,
Hitler's,
you know what?
it's a lot of apologists.
That's the thing, is if you continue to apologize for the people that are displaying this behavior, at some point you're complicit.
As Stevie Wonder said, you can't be in it, but not of it.
And I said none of them are right-wing specific. Like literally, I just said that. So
Flow go flow when flow one.
but fascism is a right-wing thing. It's like if you can have totalitarianism on the left, but fascism is specifically right-wing. We did a video on it. It's defined, and it's you cannot have fascism on the left, because if it was on the left, it would be something else. That's not to say it would be good, but it would be something else.
You may
Right.
not be a Nazi, but you might be a Nazi sympathizer. You may not wear the uniform, but you sure as hell don't voice any opposition.
Yeah,
You may not throw your hand out, but you make sure that you reap the benefits.
Flo, I literally just said the opposite of what you just wrote.
I don't know why you keep
It
literally
literally said I literally just said the opposite of that.
Now do you get it?
But what I said is, if you continue to not call it out, at some point you're complicit. Tons of Mice says MTG, Mickey the Goon says Democrats are killing Trumpers. That's the beginning of getting rid of Dems, right? And you see what they were doing. Like, isn't it kind of funny that after Roe was overturned, that you saw Kevin McCarthy come out and talk about how we need to protect judges from leftist mobs, but no one ever did. Like, the most egregious thing that happened to Kavanaugh was someone was outside of a restaurant that he was at chanting with a billboard. How inconvenient. And then
Meanwhile, we got roaches crawling up the Capitol steps and crawling up the walls of the Capitol.
But not even, I got a better example than that one. A week later, after they raided Mar-a-Lago, literally people are shooting FBI agents. Where's the call? Where was the call? And that's not to say that the FBI is this benign force. We know they're not. Guarantee they're not. We know the history. We just talked about Fred Hampton. We just talked about Fred Hampton.
I don't want no smoke.
Those facts are clear. But no protection for them?
Right. Oh, Blue Lives Matter until those Capitol Police were trying to keep folks from trying to get in the Capitol. Then, stomp their heads in, hit them with bear spray, beat them down, slam their heads in the doors and stuff like that. That's all good then, So
is this the Warnock debate you're putting on?
Can you chill? No. Can you chill? Chill. I'll guide you, my brother. I will guide you on Mikey's lightning round, because y'all don't never keep up with stuff. So I ain't sending out links.
Haas, you just got asked a question.
Spear them with the American flag. There you go.
Haas, I believe that question.
After honesty and dismantling of systems and rebuilding this country, that's it. That's what you do. And you hold people accountable. You hold people accountable. When you say shit and when you do shit, you get called on your shit. And call the shit shit. Call the shit shit. Don't say, oh, it's defecation. No, it's shit. It is shit. And we need to get this shit out of our lawn. Period. Instead of people trying to tell you water ain't wet. No, these aren't lies. They're alternative facts. Get the fuck out of here. This is what we do. We rationalize, deny, discredit, all this bullshit. We got to stop doing that.
What are the 4 Ds? What are the 4 Ds of Republican arguing?
Right.
The 4 Ds of arguing with a Republican: deny the fact, discredit the source, deflect, and then defame, start calling names.
Right.
It's the same progression every single time.
Right.
99% of the time.
So and then it's funny how dismantling and destruction of systems that disenfranchise and brutalize others is somehow profane. But when it benefits certain folk, they don't have any problem with that destruction. They don't have any problem with destroying a people. They don't have any problem with destroying people through dehumanization. There's no problem with that.
But Haas, I'm going to play the Republican here. But Haas, dismantling the system, we're the greatest country in the world. That sounds extreme.
Really? Greatest country in the world for whom? For whom?
But black people are so successful now. Look at all the NBA players.
Does the success of a few deny the disenfranchisement and brutalization and murder of the aggregate?
You don't want.
But what about but what about black on black crime?
Crime is a function of proximity. I dare you to find me a poor white neighborhood that has a lower crime rate than a affluent black neighborhood.
Yeah, oh, that might be true, but what about how come all the Democrat cities are where all the problems are?
That's not necessarily true if you really look at the numbers and statistics. If you look at the numbers and statistics, you know, some of the top 10 highest crime states are red states. When you look at infant mortality and maternal mortality,
Way higher in red states.
But they'll have you believe that it's the blue states.
And let me give everybody a bullet just in case you need one for your gun. Most of our listeners are smart and don't need this bullet. When people criticize Democrat-led cities, they're not that's dishonest. Those problems that they're pointing out are city problems. Those problems exist in cities across the world. Find me a city that doesn't have the problems that you're pointing out. Any city where it's over, what do you define a city as? What was Tim's definition of it per square mile? Was it 800 or 8,000 people per square mile or something like that?
I don't know.
You don't know? You're ready to move on. All right, move on.
Miserable.
Ready to move on.
God damn, y'all some of the fucking creeping and crawling this motherfucker.
You see this smile on my face? Miserable out my ass, motherfucker.
Mikey's ready. Mikey's ready to move on. All right, move on.
I wanted to move on because your girlfriend had a debate a couple of nights ago, and I figured you might want to see some highlights from it.
Go ahead, Val. Do your thing, girl.
Oh, I heard she smoked him.
Florida's
Stop talking.
heated Senate race came out swinging on the debate stage.
What we cannot do is some of these crazy policies that are coming from the left that Congresswoman Demings has supported.
Of course, the senator who has never run anything at all but his mouth.
Oops.
Oh.
You don't want zero problems, big fella.
She tried to warn him. That was the warning shot.
Would know nothing about helping people and being there for people.
Democratic Representative Val Demings facing an uphill battle to boot two-term GOP Senator Marco Rubio from his seat. The two taking jabs at each other in their only debate.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch this whole thing, and then maybe we all watch it and then hang out with Dino, because Dino and TJ is the only ones this really affects.
Yeah, Dino. Dino's in Georgia.
Oh, is he? I thought it was in Florida too.
Yeah, no, TJ is the only one it affects.
My boy Montez is in Florida.
I heard though.
Poor TJ, you got the hurricane, not this shit.
I heard though that a lot of people were upset with Warnock. They say he didn't do as well as they wanted.
Why are you changing the
What
debate,
are you
man?
talking
We
about?
on Val Demings, man.
Come on now.
You brought up Georgia, so I'm just wondering if your thought.
Let's just stick with Florida right now.
Just do this, and then I got another video. Quit changing this topic, Tangent Man.
Tangent Man.
That's the show.
Less than 3 weeks from the high-stakes midterm elections.
She's been in Congress for over half a decade. She's never passed a bill.
I'm really disappointed in you, Marco Rubio, because I think there was a
Well,
time.
she called him by his whole name.
Wait a minute. He says she's been in Congress for half a decade. That's 5 years. Come on, quit playing.
Right.
And how many years have you been out there?
Half a decade.
Yeah, that's 5 years for the uninitiated.
And you, Marco Rubio, because I think there was a time when you did not lie in order to win.
Demings forcing Rubio to defend his stance on gun control in a state still reeling from the Parkland shooting massacre.
How long will you watch people being gunned down in first grade, fourth grade, high school, college, church, synagogue, a grocery store, a movie theater, a mall, and a nightclub,
Congresswoman,
and do nothing?
Rubio, who once supported an age.
She smoked that line. Like in the theater that is politic in debates. You're on the ropes there, Marco.
Limit on purchasing assault-style rifles, reversing his stance.
Denying the right to buy it is not going to keep them from doing. A lot of people own
the
AR-15s and they don't
me.
kill everyone.
The heated back and forth.
That was the wrong answer.
was
But
tense.
that's their answer though. That's the thing. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. But we're gonna go against things that might help us weed out those people though.
Right.
Right. No, it's the video games.
Oh yeah, and music. Not
Yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne though. It's the damn rap.
It's rap music.
It's
and
not
video games.
Metallica.
That's
It's
the
not
problem.
Megadeth, which has death in the fucking name. It's not that. It's the rap.
And Love My Road.
It
And I
was DETH, to be honest.
Love My Road, and I appreciate the fact that you want to hear both sides. I really do. Just real quick to address your comment, because you're new here and I want you to feel welcome. I Mikey, what party did I used to belong to?
Republican.
Right. I was a
Republica
Republican.
Dominicana.
Right. Right. I was a Republican, right? And like I was
Republican
an
no,
anti
no Dominicana.
I was an anti-Trump Republican. I was what you would call a never Trumper. I even bought a never Trumper shirt, right? So I didn't like Trump, but other than that, I was still a conservative. I had a couple liberal views, but for the most part, I was a Republican. And like now, I don't. There might be two things if you pull up everything that I'd still side with the Republicans on. And I can tell you this from my own experience. This is anecdotal, but I love history. There is no two sides here. When one side is trying to strip freedoms from people, keep people from voting, to push us towards a theocracy, there is no two sides. There is no two sides. They're not equal. I am not a radical leftist for wanting healthcare.
Yes, you are,
like
communist.
Like they'll say, oh, well, you want to raise the minimum wage and you want healthcare for everybody. That you are a radical. You are just as dangerous as the people who are trying to strip freedoms from people. Wrong. Charlie Murphy. Wrong.
Habitual.
I mean, it's
habitual
line stepper, right? The old soundboard clip. But like it's like when one side is pretending that there aren't people in their crowd flying Confederate flags, or that they just have the freedom to do so.
Well,
if you want to wave a
Confederate
crowd
doing the Nazi salute,
and like we're not saying that every person's doing that, but nobody's calling them out. So then what are you supposed to do? Like if you walk by a murder, are you not going to say, oh yeah, it's a free country, you can do whatever you want, right?
Gotta mind your business.
If you see someone stealing a candy bar from the store, oh, you know what? I'm not going to say anything.
Eat the rich.
That sort of thing. Like that's probably a bad example, but you get the point, right? Like you saw it and you said nothing, so you're kind of like, you weren't innocent in that. Like if it was a robbery, maybe more so than stealing a candy bar. Better example, right? Exactly. So yeah, you know what? I don't want to get involved. Then you're complicit in it.
Someone has clearly watched Spider-Man over the weekend.
Anyway, Mikey, I apologize
for your Spider-Man love.
I'll never apologize for that.
I'll take my love of Spidey to the grave.
I did watch 2 episodes though last night to catch up.
Of
GOT.
No,
GOT. I'm on 6 now.
Hot D, man. That's what all the cool kids are calling it.
They call Game of Thrones Hot D.
It's not called Game of Thrones. It's called
House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm aware of that. Anyway.
Of abortion. Rubio, who supports a 15-week national ban on abortions, slamming Demings, who says women should be able to choose the procedure, quote, up until viability.
She supports taxpayer-funded abortion on demand for any reason at any time up until the moment of birth.
No, Senator, I don't think it's okay for a 10-year-old girl to be raped.
And Democrats continue to make
I don't know what corner he thought he had her in, but I'm gonna go back and watch the whole thing. This was a thrashing.
Issue number 1 on the campaign trail.
But speaking of debates, Haas, get your homie.
God damn.
Get your homie. Get the homie. Oh, what's going on?
We're talking about my frat brother. You talking about Mushmouth?
Yo, get your mans out here.
Can they be a little bit more like? Do all the debates they just gotta look exactly the same? Can they be a little original?
Quit hating. You know this look fresh. Look at that neck star on the floor. That's a light.
This debate brought
They got a little.
Brought to you by Nextstar,
this
They had a
debate
little
brought to you by
overhead.
Roxcon.
home
got
of
the-
Greyhound Racing.
They
It
got
looks
the little
like-
overhead projector like sheet that they put over there to make the little thing on there.
It looks like a Stark Industries
Yeah,
logo.
it does. It does. I'm waiting for that
Hammer.
the hammer to come out on them.
One thing I have not done, I've never pretended to be a police officer. And I've never threatened a shootout with the police.
Well, and now I have to respond to that.
We are
No, no,
moving
no, no.
on.
Oh! Here come the cereal box bag.
You don't want zero problems, big fella.
And you know what's so funny? I am with many police officers. And
Mr. Walker, Mr. Walker.
No.
Now this
Get
moderator.
your dumb ass out of here.
Now
He
this
should-
Go ahead.
He should have been removed from the building at that point.
Why he got that deputy dog badge out there? Why he got that ricochet?
McGruff
rabbit?
gave me this.
He had to
fuck
call
out here.
Scruff McGruff, Chicago, Illinois,
This motherfucker.
60652.
He is out there with the motherfucking Ovaltine decoder ring badge.
And you know what? If he were to say, here's how crazy his supporters are. If
Just
he were to
say,
say, you know
"Sheriff."
what, donate anybody donating $50 or more to my campaign will receive their own deputization badge.
Hey, Mikey, back it up 5 seconds so I can really hear what he said. Because it sounded like he said, I work with a lot of cops.
Yeah. This is a good screenshot. I'm gonna take this one too.
Yeah.
Boop. Thank you.
I have to respond to that. And you know what's so funny? I am with many police officers. And at the same time,
Why he sound like Damon Wayans on Living Color? I am work with many police officers. Jogging my rectum. Ow, I'm sorry.
He started saying one thing.
He forgot
He
he was
started
being
saying one
recorded.
thing and then he switched.
Yeah,
And what
Well,
is this necklace he has on outside of his fucking
bro.
suit and tie?
that's-
Like,
That's the keys to his luggage or some shit. It looked like a little ass key. That's for his little safety deposit box at the bank.
oh my
no.
God.
I am with many police officers. And at the same time,
Mr.
Pastor,
Walker, Mr. Walker.
Why is the crowd laughing? The
Yo,
crowd
they-
is laughing.
They are bugging up right now.
and at the same time,
Mr.
Pastor,
Walker,
they barely
Mr.
laugh.
Walker.
They are
No,
laughing at his
Mr. Walker,
ass.
Excuse me,
The truth-
Mr. Walker.
when he
Please,
said a problem
out of
with the truth,
respect,
the truth is
I
in
need to
here.
let you know, Mr.
Yes.
Walker, you are very well
Yes.
aware of the rules tonight,
yes.
and you have a prop.
That is a prop, not a real fucking badge, you fucking dumbass.
It's-
Oh God.
to shoot homegirl some bail, she probably meant like you're not allowed to like bring anything on stage as like a
Right.
visual aid, as in that kind of prop.
Right.
But the fact that she double entendred into his badge being fake, this is Jay-Z bars. You know what I'm saying? This is Nas level soliloquy.
Dude,
You
the
are-
crowd is laughing. They know you're not a fucking cop.
Let's hear that laughter one more again.
Mr. Walker,
When he
please,
said a problem
out of
with the truth,
respect,
the truth is
I
in
need to
here.
let you know, Mr.
Yes.
Walker, you are very well
Yes.
aware of the rules tonight,
Yes.
and you have a prop. That
Yes.
is not allowed, sir.
Yes.
I
Yes.
ask
Yes.
you to put that prop away.
Well, it's not a problem.
It-
This
it-
is real. And he said, I have a
But-
problem. I
but
never
it
went
is
with law
considered a
enforcement.
prop, Mr. Walker.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
You're very well aware of the rules, aren't you?
Well,
Aren't you aware of the
he
rules?
brought up the truth. Let's talk about the
But-
truth.
but
Thank
he
you
did.
for putting that
Yes.
prop away.
One thing I
And he's
Oh.
giving him props. He's saying he brought
For
up
the
the
prop.
truth. He said he brought up the truth. So you're saying that he told the truth. When
Hey,
you say he
in
brought up the
Herschel's,
truth.
in Herschel's defense, it's hard to give props without a prop.
He's terrible. He's
Mm.
terrible. He lost when I literally thought that this was a joke when he was talking about how the good air from America moved to
Yeah.
the bad air of China. So China's air had to move. I'm like,
Yeah.
are you serious? And people are gonna vote for this guy? But I said the same thing. I said the same thing when
About
listening
Trump.
to Donald Trump's word salad. I was like, people are going to vote. He's
There's no way.
incoherent. There's no way people are going to vote for this. But Herschel Walker is the personification of every stereotype that those types of people have about black people. Okay? And he's comfortable because he's a dullard. He subscribes to every negative stereotype that they have about black people, about black men specifically. Right?
You want to hear something sad? If Herschel Walker wins and everything else stays the same, like no other seats are flipped in Senate, Republicans will have 2 African Americans.
Yep. Fucking
And the
Tim
Democrats
Scott.
will have how many?
Ass. 0. 1.
1, Booker.
Shit.
I wonder if they'll. I wonder if they'll
he light
politicize
skinned,
that. Yeah.
Oh, of
He
course they
light-skinned
will.
it.
Of course
He
they
yellow.
will. Look, we have these comfortable dark-skinned brothers, and all they have is one light skin
But what they
who
won't
speaks broken Spanish.
bring up though is
Soy el Blacko.
there are about what I think there's 36 Senate races this time. It might be 35. There are at least 8 Democrats who are candidates for Senate who are people of color. And there's only 1 on the right. But they won't talk about that.
And they picked Herschel Walker because he's a dumbass ex-football player.
They pick people who are famous now.
They think they could get some
Dr. Oz,
who blew up. He self-destructed.
Dr. Oz and Herschel Walker are the 2 craziest candidates they have.
Well, Sarah Palin didn't do so well.
That was Congress.
Oh, you're just talking Congress? Okay.
No, I was talking about the Senate. But yeah, no, yeah, in the House, there I don't know how many Republicans of color are there in the House? Maybe 4. So compared to, I don't know how many there are on the left, but probably 60. So I mean, it's not close in the House because you've got a lot of people of color in the House on the left. The right has, I think 4. But like you've got, I mean, it's soon they'll have Tulsi Gabbard too because I'm.
Oh yeah,
Tulsi
we
real
didn't
quick.
talk about that.
Yeah, Tulsi said, and this is a little bit older, but Tulsi was like, "I'm leaving the Democratic Party."
Was she never a part of it anyway? I mean, shit.
Yes, no, yes.
I know.
She
I'm
was.
saying she was.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying.
Well, really part.
The funny. No, I think she was, but I think something funny happened with Tulsi Gabbard. I'm going to tell. This is my opinion, based on my observations. I speak for me. Tulsi got rubbed wrong for the first time in 2016 with Bernie. And she came out, and I agreed with her on that. But then in 2020, she had to pick a lane, right? And Bernie and Elizabeth Warren had the further left. Biden, Buttigieg, Yang had the more moderate positions. And then Yang, kind of went a little bit more right, way more right now. But Tulsi, if you recall, she stuck in the race all the way to the end. Like, she didn't withdraw. She was there till the convention. And she had to pick a lane. And the lane that she chose was right-wing Democrat. And she's stuck with that. And now she started to believe her own bullshit. So now she's a right-winger. She calls herself a Democrat, but she's a right-winger. And now she's like, I'm not going to call myself a Democrat anymore. And she's calling for all of the similarly minded, reasonable Democrats to come and join her in leaving the Democratic Party. To go where? where are you going to go? There's only one place to go, unless you want me to vote for the fucking Forward Party. I'm almost positive she's going to join the Forward Party, or she'll be Trump or DeSantis's vice presidential pick. Watch.
Because she's cute, and people love a cutie.
Dutch loves her.
She's attractive physically, but
She's a beautiful woman. And I used to like her.
Well, would you guys
honest?
Well, would you guys consider her a cougar?
How old is she?
Oh yeah, she's in her 50s.
Is she actively seeking out younger men?
Speaking of cougars, I narrowly escaped death. Did you guys hear about this? In DeKalb County, Illinois, a mountain lion was struck and killed by a vehicle on I-88 in DeKalb County on Sunday. Could have been us, Haas. Could have been. According to the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, the IDNR said they believe it was the same mountain lion, also called the cougar, that was spotted on a wildlife camera in Whiteside County in late September. I swear to God, if this is from
Tulsi got hit by a car?
I swear to God, if this is due to global warming, because we're getting bald eagles out here, right? We get bald eagles.
I see them.
We get bald eagles that overwinter here. They leave Canada because it's too cold and they come down here. There's plenty of lakes and shit like that.
I've seen a couple eagles actually right out here.
Not even
fucking eagle.
Like not even like our regular little falcons and hawks.
And shit. No, eagles.
Eagles.
White-headed eagles.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
All them Canadian animals better not bring their little hot asses down here. You stay your ass up there. You ain't coming down here.
Have to get my AR-15.
Couple other little tidbits of news I want to run past you guys. Love my rodent. We'll talk about that later. I don't know yet the answer to your question. Kanye is buying Parler.
He got pimped. He got pimped by Candace. Because her husband is the CEO of Parler.
Adam.
Founded in 2018, Parler jumped into popularity after Facebook and Twitter banned Trump. Parler's parent company received $56 million in recent funding. Estimates peg it at about 700,000 active users. And he is buying it, and the sum has not yet been released because he's been kicked off Twitter. Good thing that Biden did. Two things. First of all, the U.S. and for any of you who are looking forward to your student loan forgiveness, the U.S. Education Department launched its online student loan forgiveness application yesterday.
Excuse me.
After testing a beta version for the weekend, 8 million borrowers have already submitted an application. So time to go on there and do that. The form will be available through December 31st, 2023, and ask for your birth date, social security number, and contact information. No documents have to be uploaded. Borrowers who qualify for forgiveness and would like their balances adjusted before the federal student loan payments restart in January should submit an application by November 15th. That is a month. So get on that. Last thing from the news, and this is awesome because I have a son who suffers from unilateral hearing loss. Over-the-counter hearing aids are now available to purchase in the U.S. for people 18 and older.
Socialism!
With mild to moderate hearing loss. Yep. A federal law first passed in 2017 went into effect yesterday, allowing high-quality hearing aids to be purchased at pharmacies and real estate and retail stores without the need for a prescription, medical exam, or professional fitting.
Oh my God! You don't have to earn your health insurance and get a hearing. Oh my God! The country is going to hell in a handpot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wouldn't want all these like teenagers hearing while they're in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be fair, that the basis for that law passed under the Trump administration, so that's good. But then it never went in. They never enforced it.
Of course.
Right? So the law, they passed the law, but it never went into effect. So the Biden has ordered that law to go in. The Biden administration has pushed that law into effect. 37.5 million Americans older than 18 have some level of hearing loss. hearing aids traditionally cost $1,000 to $4,000 per ear and are typically not covered by Medicare or insurance. So that's a good thing. It's
Can I
still going
talk
to be
about one more?
expensive.
Can we talk about one more thing
Yeah.
before we go into the humidor?
Hey, looks like we just got raided by Brat. Thank you, Progressive Brat.
Thank
and
you.
everybody coming over here.
All right, so
Gorse, hold on. Gorse Inc. Hello. Industrial Arts. Hello. Haley Dakota. Hello. Thank you guys for jumping over. Brat, you're awesome. We were gonna raid you at the end of this show, but you're here, so I guess we can't with our 9 people. But this is Mikey, and that's Big Haas. So welcome.
Check your private chat, bro, because I was trying to get a login thing here, but somebody is not responding.
Oh, I didn't see it, you jerk. But you were saying.
All right, so I was saying this. A lot of people talk about in criticism of the current administration that they're paying more in taxes. Their federal taxes, to be specific. And doing a little research, Biden hasn't changed the tax code from the previous administration. So 2 things need to happen. Number 1, you need to direct your ire in the proper direction. Number 1, when the tax codes went into effect under the previous administration, the wealthiest received permanent tax cuts. The middle and lower class got temporary tax cuts, aka to make us look good in the short term, but really do what we need to do for our people in the long term. Right. So until 2025 or 2027, your taxes, if you're middle or lower class, are going to continue to rise. So point your AR-15 or your shotgun, your come and take it from my cold hand. Point your ire in the proper direction. And then number 2, we need to hold Biden's feet to the fire to rectify this tax code. But guess what? If we don't have a majority in the House and Senate, guess what's going to get killed? Any changes he tries to make will get killed. And it's not his fault. Okay? So if you really don't like your taxes going up, then maybe you might want to reconsider your voting habits.
I think it's weird that we always attach we never run things like by like Senate like every 2 years. Like we don't run things midterm to midterm, which is when a lot more of the policy actually goes through, but everything's placed underneath the presidency. Right. As if the president has fuck all to do with pretty much, you know what I mean? They can do some influencing, but they're not writing bills. It's not what their job is. But we always attach every era is based on a president as opposed to the Congress. But we don't really no one knows what number of Congress we're on. It's like that's right around the top of their head.
A lot of people couldn't name their own congressman.
They couldn't name their district.
That's fucking true as shit. But you know who they like, and that's one of the things we were talking about before. I mean, the Republicans do this shit so much better. The Democratic Party, the DCCC, the DNC are fucking incompetent when it comes to marketing. Right? Like they need to figure out a way to market to people better, because all of the good marketing for ideas is being done by us on Twitch and people on Twitter, you know, and folks like fighting the grassroots fight, people like Progressive Brat, people like Ravana, who was on our show last week, you know, people like Ben, you know, they are doing a fantastic job of this type of stuff. And no.
Hey, yo, first of all, his name is not Ben Shapiro. It's Beard Shapiro now. Put some respect. He said, I got a beard now. I'm a man's man.
I'm a man now. Look at my beard.
Look at my beard.
Oh my God. He should wear his fuck.
Please no, but give like me the token so I can log into this.
Sure.
I'm like texting and everything. I'm like, come on.
We were talking before about the hello Sun Devil. Thank you for subbing to the show. Actually,
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at, but you won't get
Marge as well. I'm looking at it right now, bro. Give me the code. All right. Mikey needs the code.
Don't say
I'm
it
gonna
out
give
loud.
him the code. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Bye, Haley.
Haas, talk about something while I do this.
All right. Let's talk about, let's see here. Oh, let's talk about the 4 people who got caught committing voter fraud in the last election by voting for their knowingly dead spouse or parent. And guess who they voted for? They voted for Donald.
Joe Biden.
Nope, Donald. And guess what? 3 of those 4 people got probation, and one person got 3 days in jail. On the other side, a young woman who had a felony conviction was told by her probation officer in a certified letter that she could vote.
Right.
And at her trial, she presented the letter from her probation officer telling her that she could vote. Guess what? This young black lady was
Voted.
still convicted. All she did was register. She didn't even get a chance to vote. All she did was register. And she was still convicted, even with the information from 2 different sources that admitted that they told her that it was okay for her to register to vote and to vote.
That was Florida,
And
right?
guess what her sentence was? 6 years. 6 years in jail. Okay? So now let's talk about number 1, 4-1 quote unquote voter fraud on the right side, who always says that it's the left side committing voter fraud. And then number 2, dichotomy in sentencing based on race, because these 4 white guys got basically nothing, while this woman who had permission got 6 years.
Check this out.
I guess you have a warrant?
For what?
I'm not sure.
For voter stuff, man.
For voters.
It's what it is. I think the agents with FDLE talked to you last week about some voter fraud, voter stuff when you weren't supposed to be voting, maybe.
I didn't.
So
What are they talking
that's
about?
what we're not the case agents, but what you got to do, they have reduced your bond quite a bit. It's 2 felony charges for voter fraud.
How benevolent of them.
But they've reduced it to $500 bonds. So it's $1,000 total.
Oh my God, man. What
Yes, sir. So unfortunately, right now, we're going to have to take you to jail.
Hold on, let me find the other one. This isn't the one I had from before. I think it was this one.
Or 2
Because
months
she wasn't.
ago, Florida's Republican Governor Ron DeSantis announced the arrests of 20 people on voter fraud charges as part of his new Office of Election Crimes and Security. But now, new police body cam video obtained by the Tampa Bay Times shows the confusion from those getting arrested and the police making the arrests. Take a look.
Apparently, I guess you have
about some.
Boss, how's it going?
Oh my God. Hold on. Wait. Let me tell my husband.
We're telling him. He's right here.
Right here. So if you can put your hands on your back, please. Oh my God. Do not move.
Ultimately, ma'am.
This lady about 50, 60 years old.
Hold on, listen. I know you caught off guard. I understand. Right? So you have a warrant. It's for voter fraud.
I didn't do nothing to nobody. Voter fraud. What is voter fraud?
Voting when you're not supposed to, sir, is what our understanding of the law is. Because of your sex offender status, you're not supposed to be voting.
I don't know this. Voter fraud.
Let's walk over to my car.
Why is y'all doing this now and this happened years ago?
I don't know. I have no idea, man.
This is crazy, man.
I couldn't guess as to why.
Right. And it's so funny who's getting arrested.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, where is it? No. God, I can't believe I can't find it now. I watch way too many videos, so trying to find something is a needle in a needle stack at this point. But there were several people who were literally sent shit from Florida. Florida said, y'all are good. Go ahead and vote. But from whatever DeSantis said, like it excused like felons, and felons were allowed to vote again, except for certain cases. But they didn't distinguish when they sent the shit out.
They just sent,
so they
just sent
took
it out.
so they sent it out, and people went and they voted, and now they all have. Now they're picking them up one by one.
And people on the right will be like, "See, look," but won't look into the weeds of how this came about and what I mean. DeSantis is he knows no shame. He knows no shame, and you could tell by his haircut that he's just a douchebag. So allegedly,
real quick, Tiger Lily, Open GL. Thank you for subscribing.
The subs.
I've got two different, or thank you for following, I should say.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, we got a bunch of followers. Hey, Progressive Carpenter, Cryptid Mage, William.
Build a bear.
Taco Ninja Dragon, Haley. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Awesome. You guys just got us to 160. We were at like 155 or 152 when the show started. So that's awesome. Thank you, Brat, for that. We appreciate it. For those of you who are here for the first time, the 30 or so of you who are here right now, we focus on a history topic. Today, our history topic was Tecumseh, who is a Native American freedom fighter and hero. When we talk about politics, we're a progressive show. Mikey Famine on the left here also does his own stream at twitch.tv/Mikey Famine, FAMINE. He does some gaming.
I'm linked down there. I'm down there.
Yeah. So
right down there.
You can watch him do useless things like play video games that you can play yourself.
Listen, this man has no skill at any video game. So all he does all day is sit on Twitch in my fucking chat telling me how useless video games are. But he won't pick up the stick.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I said 1v1 me.
No, I said I don't understand why people play video games.
Hey,
that's what I said.
If you want to see my work,
I got a PlayStation right there. I go turn it on. I don't need to watch you.
Ain't nobody, dude. You can't even hook up your PlayStation 1 to nothing. Get out of here. Nobody got them cables no more.
And I've got select stills of my glitter.
I'm trying to figure out where the white one.
.com/Big Haas's feet.
Can't say that.
You can't say that in terms of service.
Jesus.
I try to figure out, Mikey. I'm still trying to figure out where the white, yellow, and red and
right the component cables
go. Yeah.
Well, this one is definitely the video. So
some of these young ones don't even know what that means. They're like, "Oh, this doesn't have an HDMI cable."
These are RCA cables. What's that?
Well, you remember the joint that was like literally you had it was the longest screw or nut and bolt combination ever, where you had like the little wire sticking out, and then that would go in, and then you'd have to
screw it down. Yeah, the RF. That's the RF switch.
Well, that one too. But then I was
talking about the coaxial. You talking about the coaxial?
Oh my god, you'd be screwing that that motherfucker in for about 3,000 weeks. And what's that? Somebody unplugged
better not be loose. It better not be loose.
Oh,
thank you, OpenGL. You are correct.
Somebody unplugged it, and I have to plug it back in. Oh, they done cross-threaded the motherfucker. Now I need the Jaws of Life to come in here to get this sumbitch open. Because
God forbid you're reaching around the back.
Oh my god!
Trying to screw it, and your fingers keep slipping off, and you drop the cable.
Now your hands are starting to sweat.
You know what's funny about that is nowadays my curse is no matter which way I try to put in the USB, it's always upside down.
It's always wrong.
But I
spent 3 minutes hooking up my joint every Wednesday.
I had the same problem back in the day because whenever I would reach around the TV, I'd give the TV a reach around. Whenever I gave my big old tube TV a reach around, right?
Ooh,
so I'm sitting there with my big bare ass.
No problems, big fella.
And I'm trying to screw it, but I would never put it. It never went through my head that I was screwing the wrong. Like it's lefty loosey, righty tighty, but lefty was righty. Right. And you guys all missed Attorney Anna, so you guys got to come back when the lovely and talented Attorney Anna is on the show.
Yeah. She's one of the smart ones here.
She is the most intelligent of us by far.
Yeah, it's the fourth member of this little band.
So Dutch, I know you're into like physics and stuff like that. Are you aware with like superposition?
Whoa.
Maybe, but not by the name.
Like in the quantum, kind of like, like something can be up, like things can be up and down, things can be two ways at the same time. Your favorite fucking saying?
You're talking
Right.
about
Ben
Rings of
Shapiro.
Power.
Yeah, all of those, yes. But there's a superposition physics joke about USB cables, because it's just no matter which way you do it, it is the way that is the wrong way every time, no matter whether you observe it or not.
I see.
Yeah.
It's all.
Because in an alternate universe, your other self is using the other way.
Correct.
Why is it though that with the knockoff lightning cables, that when I put, like, sometimes you'll put them in and they don't work, and they'll say not recognized by Apple device. You flip it around and then it recognizes it. You ever had that happen?
Probably because it's wired like cheap shit, and it's probably only got conductive parts on one side.
Well, who can afford to buy the one for $50 from the AT&T store? I get the ones from Amazon.
Hello, everybody. You just go in there and steal them off the floor models. Duh. That's what I've been doing.
Oh, that's right.
I've been doing that since
petty thievery. Why didn't I think of that? Oh, it's the
Hello. Just walk out of there. It looks like I got a pocket full of spaghetti.
Schrodinger's. Okay, so yes, thank you for the. No, I don't believe I've heard that term before, or at least I don't remember hearing it.
Schrodinger's cat.
Yeah. It's not something. It's not something from. It's not something from RedTube. Superposition.
That's what it sounds like. That's what I'm saying.
It's the ability for the quantum particles to be in multiple states at once until measured, which locks them into one position.
Okay.
Wow. We got to get OpenGL on the podcast.
It's very paradoxical.
Schrodinger's cat, because that too sounds.
Well, is it alive or is it dead?
Yes.
Is this podcast still going on or is it over?
Oh, it's still going on, because I still got an inch and a half left.
All right, cigar review.
Pause.
Humidor.